Hi guys, today we are chatting on temper tantrums and how to avoid those no's that we want to say, or sometimes our kids don't behave in a certain way and we want to kind of acknowledge that we want to say this is not the right way to do things, but we often shun the child and we don't shun the behavior. And I think there's a huge difference in that. And I think she's really the expert. So, hi, doctor. So nice to chat with you again. Temper tantrums, just throwing a fit
Yeah.
when they don't get something, that aggression. How does one deal with that?
Yes. Aggression, anger outbursts, temper tantrums. First we have to understand that these are emotions, Mansi. What are these? Children feel emotions. And the problem here is the situation is that children do not have emotional regulators, that I always say. So whenever we say no to something, whenever something happens that children don't like, they are going to feel bad. It's okay to feel bad, right? We also feel bad when something doesn't go according to us. Similarly, when something doesn't go according to the children, they feel anger. And when they feel anger, because they are not able to regulate it, because they are not mature enough, their brain is still developing, their emotional regulators are still developing. So I always tell parents that just like you know that your child cannot handle a knife, so you will, because your child does not have the maturity, you know that your child cannot handle a glass, so because your child does not have developed motor skills. Similarly, your child does not have developed emotional regulators.
Right.
So when your child feels angry, it comes out. It comes out as it is, whatever the child is feeling. So instead, I will start with saying that instead of labeling them aggressive, try and understand that whatever that behavior of aggression is, it has feelings underneath. Your child is definitely feeling something. That's why your child is behaving like that. So
Right.
try and understand the feeling. Try and communicate with the feeling instead of the anger is the first thing that I will say. The second thing I will say is it's extremely important, Mansi, because anger is a heightened emotion, right? Aggression is a heightened emotion. It is so important to be in that, to be calm in that situation. Because if you are going to get intimidated by the anger, if you are going to have an emotion, your own emotion of anger, counter anger, maybe even anxiety, maybe even stress. We get stressed when we see our child like that. Even if you're not an angry parent, you will just get nervous. Then now what to do? When you are going to have another heightened emotion of your own, we can't help our child then.
Yeah.
If you want to help your child in the moment of aggression, we have to be calm. We have to approach the situation in that way so that we can help the child. Your child needs help. The second thing is when we have heightened emotions, we are not displaying the right thing. What do we want the child to learn? We want the child to learn to regulate the feeling of anger so that it does not come that way in the behavior in the coming years. Your child learns to deal with this emotion.
Right.
How will your child learn if he does not see you dealing with your own emotions? So, in that situation, it's very important to give our child the opportunity to interact with a calm person. And who's that? It's us.
Yeah.
So, calm is very important.
Say that, and guys, for everybody who's listening, she's the expert and I'm the mother. So when she's saying this, I'm actually traveling back in time to think of an example of how did I behave as a parent, right? And I'm just thinking that every time my kids were either angry, upset, or anything, all I did was just hug them really tight. That's all
Yeah.
I did, and it just worked. And I'm somebody who believes a lot in spirituality. So there's this particular thing that I would chant, and I feel like and another very important thing my pediatrician had told me. He said every act of aggression or attention is because of attention deficit. He's just
Yeah.
it. He always told me fix the deficit और सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा. और आज मैं
Yes.
सुन रही हूँ मुझे ऐसे ही लग रहा है that hug was attention वो से मिल गया. वो जो deficit कम था वो भी automatically everything that you're ऐसा लग रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं all
Yes.
things made sense. So that's very
Yes.
very simple. आई नो कभी ऐसा लगता है कि ये डॉक्टर है ऐसे बोल रही है पर कैसे मैनेज होगा. बट रियली जब मैं वापस जाती हूँ आई एम थिंकिंग ऑफ ऑल द एप्लीकेशंस दैट शी इज सेइंग. It's very very simple to do. So don't think कि नहीं
It is.
ऐसे लाइफ में ठीक है कि you heard it and you'll do it. Trust me, what she's saying, what I have experienced are practical things और आप भी कर सकते हैं. It's literally that easy.
Definitely, and I can even Mansi tell them what to do. Okay, calm रहना है, सबको पता चल गया काम रहना है, तो काम रह के क्या कहें उस तरह उस situation when your child is aggressive or your child is angry or feeling those emotions, what to do in that situation. So while being calm, just as you said, hug is one way of letting them know you're there. If your child is so aggressive that your child is the aggression is coming out in the body, because it happens, they don't know how to regulate it. So if it's coming in the body, just let your child know that you are there. Your words, your expression, your body language, everything has to display that you empathize. Even if it's a small thing, if your child is not getting a phone, if your 5-year-old is not getting a phone and your child has started throwing a temper tantrum because you are not able to give the phone, because already your child has seen the phone for 2 hours and you can't give. But wanting the phone is not the problem, right? You can't give it. So empathize. Every time. I mean, that's the feeling, that's the emotion. Oh, you really want that phone? Really? I wish I could give you, but you can choose something for tomorrow for sure. So
right.
It's very important to empathize, stay calm, don't give in to your child's demand. It's
Right.
going to make the aggression addictive.
Yeah, we've got some parents asking us on hitting, biting, pushing. How do you deal with that kind of behavior
Okay.
in children?
These behaviors are very, very common in toddlers. Hitting, biting, pushing. As I said, they don't have emotional regulators and they're experimenting with behaviors. Understanding how people are responding to that, how parents are responding to that. So one thing I will say is to all parents is that first understand that these are age typical behaviors so that you are calm. One thing that makes us uncalm in these situations is we think, how can my child hit? How can my child hurt someone?
और उसमें अगर
You
प्रिंसिपल
understand?
आ गया तो फिर तो गया काम से.
Oh ho ho ho. Oh ho ho.
Then the mother is
It is
doubly
so
stressed.
embarrassing. We take it personally. We take it as if, oh God, they will think that मैंने अपने बच्चे को सही नहीं सिखाया.
Do this, right? So right, we take it so personally.
Yeah, so don't take it personally. Children are children. That's why they're like that. You see, when we see children, they act differently than adults, right? There is a difference in their behavior. That's what it is. They don't have emotional regulators. So yeah, when they feel bad, when they feel attacked, when they feel something, it comes out and they hit. So we can't let our children hit or pinch. That's there. We have to stop that behavior. That is there. But that's all we have to do. We have to stop that behavior. We don't have to get intimidated by it. So in that situation, just calmly and firmly, just let your child know that this is not allowed. So, beta, okay, I can see that you're angry, but hitting is not allowed. Beta, we can't hit. It's so important for us to be calm, because if we will react or if we will get angry, first thing, it's going to give them a lot of undue attention. Children love attention. So one way this behavior is going to increase in frequency and intensity is when you're going to overreact, is when you're going to take it personally and maybe overreact with whatever you're thinking. So just stay calm and let them know it's not allowed. Be consistent. Your children will get a message. In case it's still not, it's still increasing, then there are ways to have consequences that I talk about in my workshops of positive discipline. It's not easy to, I can't explain the whole thing over here, but I will just say that you can attach a consequence. So for example, maybe I'll give you an example. If your child is hitting, every time your child sits with your mother-in-law, he starts hitting the mother-in-law, or he's, because they're little children, or they pull, but they enjoy it. First, we have to see that whenever your child pulls your mother-in-law's hair, you are busy, and the minute your child pulls your mother-in-law's hair or pinches or hits, you leave everything and come to the room. So what is your child getting out of that behavior? It's your attention, which your child would not have got otherwise, because you were busy. So please be very careful of why your child is behaving, what is the pattern, what is making your child behave like that. And the second thing to do is attach a consequence. So you can say that, beta, and let your child know that we are going to Dadi's room. If you're going to hit, then we'll have to come back. So if you want to be with Dadi, we can't hit. Let your child know that. And if your child is definitely going to try your words, your child is going to experiment कि मम्मा ने जो अभी कहा वो करेगी कि नहीं करेगी. Mostly children do that. So you have to be consistent that if your child does indulge in that behavior of hitting or pinching, you follow through the consequence and you get your child back to the room. Your child has to choose. So this is how we do deal with consequences. Otherwise, it's very important to understand what is happening underneath the behavior. Please go underneath the hitting, underneath the biting, underneath the pinching. Be calm and be consistent. Your children are going to outgrow this behavior.